Hello and welcome to We, Me and Us. We are delighted to have you here as we dive into the exciting journey of leading, coaching and transforming organizations in our rapidly changing world. I'm Pierre Neis, your host and Agile coach. I'm truly passionate about sharing real-world insights with those eager to create meaningful change. At We, Me and Us, we're all about exploring new tools and perspectives that inspire impactful transformation. Let's embark on this journey together. Hello, everybody. Here's the We, Me and Us podcast. I'm your host, Pierre Neis, and today is very special, right? You can see in my background, I'm on holidays. And I was a month ago in Albania, in Tirana, in a Transformer conference, and I heard a weird guy. So you're the weird guy coming with this kind of French name. He's Belgian, but living in Spain, and he's talking about business agility. To be really honest, I was in my side, oh my God, this will be cheesy, creamy, and awful and a nightmare, right? So, and in fact, we had a lot of fun. For me, it was a really great contact with Christophe Martinot. So, let's introduce yourself, Christophe. Who are you?
Thank you, Pierre. I really like the cheesy, oh my God, what am I going to listen? I didn't know I had this impact on you. So I'm glad to hear that today. So who I am a Belgian guy, like you said, living in Barcelona, married to a Spanish woman. And basically what I'd like to explain about myself is that I've spent almost 20 years in the corporate jail. What does that mean? I've been working for big corporations. Let's name some of them: L'Oréal, Danone, Sanofi, Abbott. And in those companies, I've been working mostly in sales, in marketing. I've been heading business units. And after 20 years, I decided to quit the fabulous, I don't know if it's fabulous, but corporate world in order to have more impact on the society and to have a real purpose in life.
That's a very good approach. I like it. And you told me also a funky thing when we were in a restaurant in Tirana. When you saw me, you say, "Oh, these people from Albania have nice questions. Even this guy."
That's true, because as I didn't know you and you were reacting to some of the things I was saying, I thought, wow, this guy from Albania, he seems to be pretty knowledgeable. He knows a lot of things and he's like reacting. That's cool. It's great to have such a guy in the audience. Until I discovered you were not from Albania.
No, I'm from South Germany. Yeah. But yes, I'm not really politically correct. I have to really. So I used to live in the old world of Agile, when we have people able to ask the questions straight ahead, no barrier. It's really community things. So I still have this in my blood, right? And sometimes it's working. Honestly, it's not working any longer, because now I'm looking more like the old, stupid, grumpy guy and annoying people. But coming back to you, what I liked a lot is even if at this moment in your keynote speech, the video projector didn't work, and you were able to speak out, and it was not a story, it was a case. You made the case, and I like it a lot. So when you say business agility, because a lot of couple of things are behind this, what is business agility in your eyes?
Well, that's a good question. And I think it's a question that raises a lot of debate. And actually, at the beginning of my Agile life, when I started to learn about Agile, I thought, oh, maybe it's about implementing Agile in business. And that would be a business agility. And actually, it's not about that. It's far away from that. So My definition or my understanding of what business agility is more about, okay, look at the world we're living in, look at what's happening every day, look at whenever any politician is taking any decision, this has an impact on the entire society, on the market, on the business, on many things. And for me, business agility is more about how a business is able to confront, to address those constant changes without disruption, and learning and trying to anticipate how to become stronger, more competitive, and making the change a real component, an inside, an internal component of the way it works. So that will be my definition of. I don't know if I was clear enough with that.
No, I like it. Just I want you to be a little bit more specific. Is in the terms. I think I get it on the term of without disruption.
Yes. So yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, yeah, you've just pointed out something. So it's not about disruptions, because I think with the changes, constant changes, there will be disruptions. But it's
Yeah.
more, it's trying to be able to anticipate those and be ready for those. So it's not that they won't exist anymore, but you are able, as an organization, you've set in place, or you've created an organization that is able to face those changes, those disruptions, and to move forward, rather than just like, oh my gosh, what's happening and what do we need to do now? Because it has become part of the organization DNA. So it's kind of, okay, change is coming. Okay, not a problem. We're ready. We used to deal with it, and we know how to deal with it.
Oh yeah, we are thinking about responsiveness instead of only a kind of conservative robustness, right? Just mention about some quotes from Gartner reports in when they make the big events in Barcelona on the business, and when they're preaching, oh, you have to be agile, preaching not to software developers but to CEOs of large companies, oh, you have to be agile. If you're not agile, your company is dead in 5 years. It means the a business model is not standing forever,
Yeah,
right?
and but that's a good point. And you were saying, first, let me react to that, because you were saying responsiveness. And I think it's a step further. It's about anticipation, because responsiveness would be something is happening and you react, you respond. But somehow, what we would love to have within an organization, or as an organization, is to kind of being able to anticipate, which is kind of a next level. And maybe AI will be able to help the organization in that sense also.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Very good angle. Thank you. Um, Usually, I'm pretty much on this organization design, and we say I prefer designing a team of surfers able to surf any kind of seas, any kind of waves, than only analyzing the how is the landscape and how are the sea. It's good to know, but the most important is, are you able to ride the waves,
Yeah,
right? And this is that way of responsiveness, which is, oh, we are fit to anything that can happen. We are able to not to react, to respond, right? So we were coming on.
to adapt and to, yeah, to see also, okay, the wave might come this way, so I will adapt. I like the analogy, definitely. And then I want to react also to what you were saying, because like you said, I think many business or CEOs have heard, okay, you have to become agile, otherwise you will die. And somehow there was some of misunderstanding, no, that, okay, you need to implement agile, you need to implement any of the available frameworks, and then your company or your
Yeah,
organization will become agile. And that's not about that. And
you're
I
right.
think that has created a lot of confusion within the organization and the CEOs.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had an interview this week, which I came out pissed off. I said, "Oh, we want to be agile. We want to implement that methodology." I say, for what reason? What is the problem you're trying to tackle? So, what is the vision of the company? What is the strategy? Then, based on the strategy, what is your transformation supporting that strategy? Not the other way around. and you speaking like an alien, or people say, "What are you talking about?" Right? And say, "Yeah, but that's the point." But if I come back to what you say in the conference, and we had a lot of fun, and you pissed a little bit people off, and to be honest, I helped you to piss them off because we talked about the money,
Yep.
the money, and before losing the little audience we are having here because it's very human centric, I just make a disclaimer: Agile is a social dynamic in a business context. So makes business makes making money, right? So and here is then I'm heading to you about the money, or what I love to say, the cash.
The cash, exactly. Yeah, and that's right, because I think somehow agile community is somehow far away from the fact that those organizations are businesses, and they exist in order to make profit. Not that profit is bad, but profit enables them to do more, to progress, and to provide more value to their customer. So it's not a bad thing. But my point of view, and it comes from a very simple theory, which is that if your employees are happy, they will be able to deliver better value to their customers. The customer will be more happy, more loyal to your company, and this will have an impact on growth of the organization. And it looks
Okay.
like, or it seems like, it's many people or many CEOs or many leaders have forgotten about that. Try to make your people happy. And that's when I was saying at the introduction, the purpose of my job is to create workspaces where people are happy. Because if they're happy, it will have a long-term impact on the organization, which is what any leader should be looking for.
Oh, you're absolutely correct. And I had a record in a previous podcast with a good mate, nearly friend. He's called GB Weinsberger. He's from Canada. So he is a very hardcore engineer in software. But he say a very good fact is Agile is cash flow, is not investment. And we don't see that cash flow here. So even when we say small baby step is directly, and we have to understand the customer because we want to sell things. And if you don't have the money, we cannot invest in something. So it's completely related what you said, right?
Yes, I mean, and basically, if you think about it, it's really about having a customer-centric approach. What I'm still seeing
Yep.
in many organizations, it's about salespeople trying to push their stuff in the hands of the customer. Marketing department trying to guess what their customers want. And at the end of the day, the only thing we are looking for is to have companies and customers co-creating and developing what really is valuable for them, for the customers. And it's not about pushing, because otherwise it will be a short-term vision. But what you want is to elaborate and establish a trust relationship where both our interest, me as a customer and you as an organization, you have your interest protected and preserved. It's not about you winning, it's about a win-win relationship that we're looking for.
Yeah, it's not a zero-sum game. Absolutely, completely aligned with you. And we have a lot of questions. So usually at the beginning, when you have the first project, everyone is doing fine, right? So you have the IT and the business, they're working together, they know the customers, they even know the users. And this is running well. And after years, CEO is coming, oh, you're doing well. I have another project for you. And I'm handing over this to somebody else to manage it. This managing it's the end. Right? So you start doing again, so you have a lot of seedings, but all the others you will lose this dynamic, and that's the from an organization perspective, that's the quite complicated part. And in my workshop I come with the example about the product manager of the Mazda MX-5. You know, this sport coupe cabrio from Mazda, the Miata. And I discover it was the same guy who was product manager from the Miata during 40 years.
Okay.
The same guy. You say, wow, wow. So for us, I'm not Japanese, indeed, right? So for us was, oh, wow, what is happening? Say, but he knew the concept and the ideas and the essence, the quintessence of the MX5 all around. So the storyline was always the same. And so it was really enhancing the product to keep the early community of users happy, and it's not a shift to something else. Not to say, oh, you buy the car, you're happy, and the next version you say, yeah, right. You see this something different, but you want to continue on that vein, and so it's pretty much also this guy has a view on business and on the customer, and you pointed out, and we're missing the customer experience part, the customer journeys. And why? My question to you: why do you think we're splitting always when we say agile, the business and the IT?
Oh, that's a good question. And actually, you know that I'm not coming from IT, so I'm coming from the business. But what I'm facing when I'm going to conferences like the one we were in Albania, I can see that there is kind of a, yeah, I don't know if it's a disconnection. It's like, okay, IT is one part and business is something different. My I don't know why, and actually I really don't know why. I'm not familiar enough with IT, and I'm not comfortable with IT because this is not my field. What I know is what I've learned from Agile. And remember, you told me actually Agile did not come from IT, and I thought it was
No.
coming from IT. But you told me, but I learned it from people coming from IT, and then people that were using it in marketing. And then I thought, but that's stupid. If we're looking at cross-functional teams because we want to provide value to our customers, we need to have it like globally within the business. It's a different way and a different perspective. What we need to do is to flip the pyramid. It's rather than pushing our products to our customers, we should put our customers at the center of everything what we do, and
Oh,
think about our products and our development this way. I believe in IT there is more of a culture in this sense, but in business it's still not the case. I'm still seeing a lot of people guessing what their customers want. Or because they've heard one or two customers saying one thing, they say, oh, they all want this. That's not true. There is no co-creation. It's not, and that's why I reacted also when you said responsive. No, we don't want to have sales or marketing department to be responsive. We want them to be in on the wave with the customer and co-creating with the customers what they really what value is for them, because customers most of the time don't know what it is. They need to see it.
this gives me, when you listen to you, I completely agree with you. Indeed. But remember, there's a quote of John Seddon. John Seddon is a big mouth from UK in system thinking. He came in a conference, the Lean Kanban, I guess the first conference in Europe was in Amsterdam, no, Amsterdam, in Antwerpen, long time ago. And he came out that we create in finance and in IT buffers to avoid to getting distracted by the customer. So you have the front office. First, you were in contact with the customer. They say, "Oh, don't have the time to think." Then you can to create the back office, and then you have time to think. And then even some customer can bypass and come to disturb you, and then you create the middle office. And now you no longer understand the customer. And I believe, maybe I'm completely wrong, that we create so much barriers about to avoid getting in contact with the customer, to get in contact with the user. But if you go on a project, even from a business perspective, you ask, who is the customer? You say, oh, we don't know. Say, you will spend a program on millions, even a billion of euros on something you really don't know if you have a customer buying it. This is huge risk for the company, right? You have to be pragmatic, and you have people helping you. You have people doing custom experience that they have a benchmark of users are not used. People are not using it. You should have business analysts doing it. They don't do it. They're working on requirements, not on needs. So it is a something weird when we don't want to go. This is too much contact.
But you see, for me, there is kind of a, I think the reflection behind that is that there is so much pressure on those organizations to hit their targets that they're just
Ah,
focusing on that. And so they're taking the shortcut, which is, okay, we need sales. And if I have 100 sales guy, I will put pressure on those 100 sales guys so that they hit their target. But the
yeah,
pressure doesn't really mean anything. Should you take the long way, which is, okay, let's see what really need our customers, what our customers really need, let's listen to them and let's provide them what they really want and let's co-create with them. The results long term will be much better. We're not in a short-term vision, and most of the time, and that's maybe also an issue in the system actually, is that CEOs may be in their position for 3 or 4 years, so they need to have short-term and quick results. But if we look at an organization long term, what you want to establish is a trust relationship with your customer, and this is what will guarantee you in the future that the sales will come in without putting pressure, and people will be more happy. That's definitely a case. You know, Pierre, there is one thing. I mean, by discussing, I've been engaged with this customer for more than this client of mine for more than 2 years now, and we started with one very interesting question: what's the difference between the goals that you have as a leadership team and the purpose, the mission that you have? I would tell you 95% of them didn't know what the purpose of the mission was. They knew their goals, they thought that the goals and the purpose was the same, and it's quite different.
it is. I agree, and I don't want to blame them, and I absolutely align with you when you say this is contextual. And I believe we have to help them way more, because if I help, let's say, the leadership teams and the manager, it's not to be, oh, I'm an executive coach. For my heart, I don't care. I'm caring about the people. And if they know better, they will be have a side effect of the teams also working better to, because it's more clear. And a German colleague has told me, so in this kind of conversation chat after 6 p.m. where everybody left, he's German, he complained a lot and we had a lot of fun. And they say, and you shit agile. I say, all right, I'm okay with you with this. I say, Pierre, you don't need to tell me how to do it. I need the answer, where to go. Or say, oh, sounds very trivial when I say, oh, that's the point. Where to go is about what you say just already, is where to go. And you have some guys completely on stress level, let's say, and they came with the idea, oh, this is the objective for today, tomorrow is another objective, then another objective. Then the teams are freezing, right? You're not doing anything, and
And
you miss the big picture.
definitely. And that's why I think for me, it's I always like to work the purpose or the mission of the team with all the leaders so that they understand that each one of the objectives or goals that they set them is kind of a milestones to get closer to this purpose that they will never
Mm.
achieve, but it's part of it. And I like what you said about I don't blame them, me neither. And I think it's important to mention it because the system is as it is, and it puts a lot of pressure on those people. Should we be, and I think that's one of the beauty in Agile also, it's to stop and reflect. Should
Oh
you
yeah.
people or leaders take the time to invest in reflecting, it will be much better for them. But most of the time, the pressure is such that they're running like hamsters in their wheel, and they don't take the time to take the broad perspective and the good reflection on where are we going.
Oh yeah, I love to make quite fun of people when I do it in a workshop. It's not about blaming; it's more nudging, and then they get my sense of humor, which is quite sarcastic and based on irony. That's why I was very happy in Belgium, because you're all like this. And but the thing they asked me, I guess it was in Belgium, said, "Oh Pierre, what's the purpose of an agile leader?" This is more time for golfing. So they were watching me. What are you talking about? I said, if you go golfing, you can let people do their job. So,
That's
and they say they have a laugh and they got the point. And even it was a funny metaphor, and it was the purpose was funny. It's not to make a joke about them, but you great results, and the results are coming very rapid. This is not rocket science. You just have to bring people together, and also there is a lot of new ideas coming. These people are good. Then you say, okay, these are new ideas. Which one do you want to stop?
Yeah.
And here is the blocker.
Yeah.
A lot of blockers. And yeah, but there's a lot of things to do. So if you say so now I'm very curious. So on what are you working today for your
On,
customer?
on what am I working today with my
Yes,
customer?
sir.
Continuous improvement, I would say. It's educating, training them on stop investing in reflection and taking next steps in order to improve. I like to tell them perfection does not exist, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
convinced about that. And but in most of those organizations, and I can tell it because I've lived in those for many years. Um, Perfection should exist. Perfection is, I mean, what was that again? It's mistake is not an option or something like this, no? And this is hard for people to get rid of this mindset, to say, okay, I can make mistakes as long as I learn from them. And I need to stop, therefore, in order to reflect. So trying to implement that in an organization at all levels, from leaders to the bottom of the organization, it's also kind of a big challenge. So that's what
Oh,
I would do now for with one of my biggest clients. I'm pretty busy with that. On top of that, I have another project. I don't know if it's what you're willing to know, no, but I'm working on a kind of it's not a framework, but it's a reflection on how to help organization, teams, and individuals to become more agile and resilient in this constantly changing world.
I love the term resilience because this is what you have to use after a post-traumatic syndrome.
Yes,
That's resilience.
definitely.
So it's okay. What is the syndrome? What is the trauma you're having? Now I'm making fun of you because I got your point. It's a very good point. And if you need to have a challenger, you're free to call me whenever you want because this is fascinating topic, and we got a very interesting conversation on. And this is the way you convince me that you're not doing crazy stuff, not another marketing guy coming to make a show, or another guy selling another methodology which is just boring, or telling you, I'll come to explain you what is business agility. Oh, thank you. I'm a certified business agility coach since 10 years. Okay, but you don't know, or like what I had 2 days ago, or you don't know about modern agile. You have to use safe 6.7 point whatever. What the heck are you talking about? But you mentioned one good point, a crucial point that we people, and again, it's not blaming the people who are IT. I like them, but is in the Agile Manifesto is business and IT working hand in hand every day.
Yeah.
This is what should be. I would even replace the business people by the customer. And one of the example I told you, which can relate to what you say was, I was the Scrum Master on the team, which is a great team. It didn't make Agile by the book, was a bizarre setup, but for me, they were absolutely Agile. It was the treasury team of SAP, which is pretty much on the business part. You had the business in the dailies and the customer in the dailies, and you have the feeling one big team. So one big team with the doers and the business and the customers. And you say, oh, this is crazy. This work. For them, it was natural. It was, nobody was overplayed, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, and this is a good point. So
You know,
Christophe, I give you the last word.
yeah, no, I just wanted to share with you because I mean, no, with no pretension, but when I started to look at all these agile world methodologies, frameworks, I don't know all of them. I know some of them, but I figured out that for me there was one very interesting thing, which was putting the customer in the center of everything
Yeah.
that we do. And somehow, with one of my friends from Canada, Thomas Ormasa, we drafted like a first agile customer manifesto, because we thought that based on everything we had learned from the different manifesto, that at the end of the day, any of us in any organization, we do have customers, whether they are internal or
Oh, yeah.
external. And you said that I was a marketeer. It's true. I'm a marketing guy, but I've been very bad at promoting this one. And I think it's still very valid and very interesting. So I would encourage any of you that would be interested to go on that. It's on agilecustomermanifesto.org. I will give you the link. And I think there's also a very nice reflection there on, and I'm happy to exchange with anybody.
I will share the link in the podcast so people can follow. I think it's a very good initiative. Usually, to be honest, a couple of years ago, when I say something, oh, now I do the Agile Marketing Manifesto or the Agile blah, blah, blah manifesto, say, not again. Be creative, please. Now you have I see an anti-Agile manifesto, which is pretty good. I had Lucia last week about the Manifesto del Gioco, which was pretty good. So this is going the way. Yeah, in Agile, you have a lot of methodology. I create 4 of them. I may be the only guy in the whole universe using my own methodologies, because and that's how it is, and it's fine. It's a melting pot when you have maybe I have the feeling sometimes every day you have new things. It's getting slower a bit sometimes, but we need to shift on to get rid of a methodology is not the answer. There's a kind of behavior part. It's working hand in hand. We have business context, like you're on a pharma industry. So there's a part of research and development and a part of development. The development is the business-centric. The research is maybe not business-centric, it's based on education. These are different agiles, and they have to work hand in hand. This is pretty good. So, Christophe, I'm talking more than you. Go ahead.
Let me just add one thing. I know that you want to close it, but I fully agree with you. And I think about the good thing is that there are a lot of people thinking and bringing reflection on the ground so that it will enrich any of you. So it's not that your methodology is better than mine or than anybody else. The thing is that we need to continue producing stuff like this, because at the end of the day, what we want is to help organizations to become more human places so that customers are better served. And at the end of the day, they have more resources, those organizations, to make more happy, a better world. That's what I would say.
In love and peace. And this is what I like. Thank you so much, Christophe. It was a real pleasure having you. And I wish you all the best. Let's continue the conversation privately and to not annoy the audience. And guys, I hope you enjoy. For myself, a real pleasure having Christophe here today. So thank you so much, Christophe. Live long and prosper.
Thank you for having me, Pierre. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining us at We Win Us. We are excited to be on this journey with you as we support your growth as a leader and change maker, helping you build resilient and agile organizations. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd be grateful if you could share it or connect with us on social media. And if you or someone you know has valuable insights to share, please reach out. I'd be thrilled to feature them. Until next time, keep evolving and stay inspired.